Well, I just got off the phone with the previous owner of our McLaren 650s, and he had some very interesting things to say. Gosh. Boom, welcome back to the channel, guys, and welcome to part 2 of the cheapest McLaren 650s rebuild in the entire world. Probably the cheapest McLaren in the whole world. We got an absolute steal on this thing from auction, partially because it was listed as having mechanical burn engine damage, and it was unknown mileage and unknown if it would run or not. They couldn't get it running basically at the auction. So those are usually the biggest red flags for anyone when buying a car, but those are actually green flags for us, about as green as the paint on this car. So we ran to the bid now button and we ended up buying it. Impulse, sight unseen, and as you guys saw in part 1, we picked it up and it actually looks pretty decent. So there's all these circles around the car when we picked it up and we're like, what the heck is going on? Is this an insurance adjuster like marking damage? But then you look, there's no damage on like any of them. Where's the damage? Where's the damage? Okay, this one has a little scratch, but just about every other circle, there's nothing. So hopefully these come off after a wash. That's what we're gonna be doing in today's video. Go through it mechanically, make sure it's okay to actually drive. We're gonna take it on the street for the first time at the end of this video after we clean it up. And you know, cleaning up a car, what? Normally takes 20, 30 minutes to wash a car, right? Well, this car would be lucky if we get it done in today, the amount of time we have left before the sun sets. This is probably the dirtiest McLaren the world has ever seen. Oh, there we go. This door opens too. Nice. Looks like it swam in the bottom of the ocean with the Titanic. And the tires look like they just got off a Baja rally expedition. So it's gonna require a lot of work, but we're gonna bring it back to life. The fact that it runs and lights up and there's appears to be no electrical issues is the biggest thing that we have going for us, and that gives us the motivation to tear into it, invest the money, invest the time and energy to bring this thing back to life. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We do crazy stuff like this all the time. This is our second McLaren auction rebuild. We did it with a 12C that we bought for super cheap, rebuilt the front end, put it on MSO front bumper, did some nice carbon fiber modifications. We love that car. Absolutely amazing platform. Everybody says McLarens are junk and the maintenance is terrible, blah, 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 blah. And sure, maybe they can be, but in our experience, our 12C was rock solid. This car already off to a good start. Love the platform, love the bang for the buck. Twin turbo V8, 650 horsepower, dual clutch transmission, incredible looks, the doors, the paint color. This car is epic. And the fact that we have one for half price, for having a few polka dots on the back, circling some scratches and stuff. This so far is the biggest damage we found on the whole car. A nick in the paint. Are you kidding me? That's a drip of touch-up paint for $2 and a little polish to get the rest of the scratches out. Like here, everyone else, and us included, kind of thought like the fire damage that they described was from the engine, right? When a car catches on fire, it's usually because of the engine or something. In this case, it sounds like that rumor might be true, that it was in a garage fire that rained down debris and just scratched the paint. Maybe put smoky smell inside the interior, but it's gone now. It smells great in there. Look at that. There's the new battery we hooked up. Shout out to AZ Cycle Parts, Mark in part 1. What are the odds that Mark just happened to get a 675 LT in, which shares the same battery today? Isn't that perfect timing, Christian? This would have been 5,000 bucks, but instead used, they go for $1,000 or something like that. So we saved a ton of money thanks to Mark.
Yeah, I remember we had to do one on our MP4-12C, and we ended up buying a used one, better off than $5,000.
Yeah, crazy. So, oh, we were supposed to get the front half of the tray from him out of the 675. I forgot. Guys, all of a sudden we looked, it's missing the half of the trunk. Someone stole it or somebody forgot it, who knows? But we'll have to call Mark on that. But aside from that, the car is complete. Comment down below, is this an aftermarket like radio sound system? It's got the Meridian option. I don't see why you would need to put in an aftermarket system when it already has a really good sound system. So Boom, and just like that, it's the next week. Our buddy Rolando came with his team and they got this car looking right. Back to a 3,900 mile McLaren. Are you ready for this? It is a bright sunny day, perfect for the reveal of this pearl green paint. 3, 2, 1, spin the camera. Bam! There you have it. Wow. This car turned out better than I could have imagined. They polished everything, probably even the carbon fiber, so you know, it's absolutely perfect down here. The front end, not even a single rock chip. Pearl green paint is just too good. I hope this comes across on camera. I'll put in some pictures and such. Last night at sunset, this car was just glowing. So I don't know, with these pictures, this car would sell in a heartbeat with 3,900 miles. So we'll see how long we keep it. Come on, Christian, this looks like a brand new car. You would never know, half price. And all that's left is this. This is the tiniest little remnant, little ding in the paint. That's it.
I think it's a pity we can't hang on to this thing. I want to try your sell it in a heartbeat idea.
We are trying to move on this other plane we bought, and the jet is costing a whole lot of money. The first maintenance bill just hit for basic little inspections, $27,000. Someone's got to pay for that. We don't have some trust fund to do it, so we got to do it ourselves, and part of that means saying goodbye to some cars that we really, really like. So I don't know, we'll see what we do with this, but it's done within one video. It's done. So what else is there to do? There's no rebuild that needs to happen, so we might as well just sell it and take the profit, but that just sounds criminal to sell a McLaren after one video.
Kind of too nice for us. Like, we'll hang on to our F430 forever because it's got like 60,000 miles and we fixed that one up. This car, it's too good.
I don't know, maybe we'll leave it up to you guys. Comment down below, should we keep or sell this car? Here's a look at the interior. Absolutely perfect as well. Let's put this top down. You know, we haven't tried it yet. We said, you know, let's leave it for later in case it gets stuck. So perfect chance to test it as we head to the repair shop to get all of the fluids done. We probably could do them, but when we go to resell this car, it'd be nice to have, you know, a nice receipt from a reputable service center showing that all the work was done. And our buddy Kyle has the McLaren tool to reset the service light, because right now it says service pass due by 10,000 days. The car thinks it's 1999. I don't know what it's smoking, but we need to get that to service not due. So he has the ability to reset that once he does the full annual service. The McLaren dealership tried to say that they were the only ones that could reset that light, and to do this full service, they wanted, I think, $3,600. And then I talked to Kyle and he's like, no, I can definitely do it. So I'm gonna spend a third of that getting it done with Kyle. All new filters, air filter, cabin air filter, engine air filter, engine, oil, filter, brake, coolant maybe. So we're gonna get this car dialed in mechanically. It already drives, seems to be perfect, although we haven't driven it more than like 2 miles. So we'll see today for the first time getting it up to speed, but we can't push it until we get that new oil in there. So that's all, but let's take it over. And then by the end of this video at pickup, we'll be able to do a full send to Redline, and that should be epic because the 650S is such a beast of a car.
Not to mention, we can't be putting over 4,000 miles on the car. What are we at? 3,900? No driving this thing.
3, 2, 1, fire in the hole. All right, it feels so good to be back behind the wheel of a McLaren. We really, really miss our old 12C. That car was fantastic. We put 12,000 miles on it. It was one of our most reliable cars. All we had to do was put a battery in it. That's it. Oh, a coolant line broke. That was a few $100. Basic, simple maintenance. That car was so reliable, even though everybody says,
oh, McLaren's the most unreliable thing, blah, 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 blah.
That's what makes them like cheap. Thank goodness people are saying that. Like, please keep saying that. It makes McLaren's such a value and great bang for the buck car. Oh, this is so much car for the money. I think I would take this over a 458 or a Huracan, which are kind of the competitors, even though this thing would basically smoke both of them. I would totally take this one, and it's way less money too. I'm gonna keep myself from sending it too hard, but like, it's just, brakes are insane. See, our 12C had the factory steel brakes, whereas the 650S's come standard with carbon ceramics. So a lot more braking performance. So I'll take that. All right. There's 75, perfectly straight. Wow. This car feels so good. Every single person who drives by this car looks at it. Crazy thumbs up, waving. People just going nuts over this thing. I mean, I don't blame them. It's a It's a pearl green metallic. I haven't gotten this much attention in a car since the Verde Ithaca Gallardo. Something about a bright green supercar. The kids love this car. Last night, I took it to a common shopping center area, and these kids were taking pictures of the car, and they didn't see me. I was about 50 feet away. I unlocked it, and they're like, and then I walk over, I said, here, you know, sit in it, start it up, rev it, and they were just having a blast. So it's so fun to share these cars with other people. Again, I don't get much enjoyment if I'm the only one using it or benefiting from it. It's all about sharing it with others, being with other people, around other people at shows, things like that. That's where it's really, really awesome. She's doing great. There's 80. So quiet, so smooth. These McLarens can really do it all. They can crush it on the track, and they can be a comfortable daily driver. Feels like a brand new car. Okay, I can't push it. Gotta do the oil change first. Oh man, this thing sounds way better than the 12C for some reason. Yeah, this has like a different blow-off sound, or it makes a little just makes a nice little like crack whip noise on that shift, whereas the 12C, I don't really remember it doing that. Everything else kind of feels the same as the 12C. Of course, this one has full Alcantara interior, whereas the 12C was full leather. So actually, I think I like this a lot better for Arizona climate especially. Oh, I forgot to put the top down. Okay, we'll do it once we're picking it back up from service here. Okay, but there you go, my initial first impressions. It didn't break, feels good. I do really like this interior. All the carbon, of course, is really nice. I can't stand the base McLaren interiors with no carbon. It looks so goofy with just like the aluminum trim. I'll put in a picture, so thank goodness the previous owner spec'd this car the way they did. This is probably exactly how I would have spec'd a 650S back in the day, so this is just dream spec. Okay, well, it's here to get service. Let's pick up this vlog right when we pick it back up so we can go to Redline and fully send this car properly. All right, we're fighting against the sunset, but we simply can't hold our excitement to do a full throttle acceleration. Finally, we got the fresh oil in there, the fresh brake fluid, the fresh filters, all serviced up, so this thing should be ready to rip. You know, gotta send it at least once before we potentially sell it, but only up to the speed limit, don't worry.
Let's hit this active button. So that should bump up the wing.
Sport.
Man, back when the 650S came out, I think everybody agreed that they built on something pretty great of the MP412C. And man, this thing is still great.
Oh my gosh. Even with the old tires, it handles like a dream.
This could be 2020 easily.
All right, feels like a brand new car.
What did they do with the 720S? I've still never driven a 720S, I don't think.
Faster, I guess, but I mean,
I don't think you can get more turbo noises than that.
Right, I think this one almost sounds better stock, but oh my gosh, feel that. All right, give it a good turn up here. Oh, that's crazy.
Just a little 1-2 pull and on the brakes so we can get that air brake.
Brake.
Oh my gosh, that is my favorite feature of this whole car.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, this thing is nuts.
Those little pops on the shifts, the 12C didn't do that. I love how the 650S sounds. Very similar. But there's some nice refinements that I actually like a lot more with this car. All right, let's see if we can catch the air brake on his hard braking. Gosh, yep. There's the air brake. Okay, this car's insane. Let's go get gas, we're out of gas. Gosh, this thing is insane.
How was that?
Oh, the sound of the exhaust, the turbos, the blow-offs.
The air brake.
The air brake, this thing is nuts.
Air brake.
Why aren't more cars like McLaren? This thing weighs 2,950 pounds. Golly.
So effortless.
This car is so impressive. So lightweight, it's like a little go-kart.
Lightweight cars are scary up at speed. Like, I don't want to be doing over 100 miles per hour in a little go-kart, but yet it feels so planned. It's just all the aerodynamics coming from the F1 heritage, I guess.
Guys, what the heck is this thing? It says Ferrari. and those taillights almost look like some like Mondial or Ferrari 400. What is it? What in the world is that? The heck? Maybe it's a new concept car. The McLaren is glowing under the gas station lights. We already got some people talking it up with Christian. So since this car is new to us, we haven't done a fuel system cleaner treatment yet. So we're gonna go ahead and do that with Techron. You guys have seen us use this in all of our cars. It's always a good idea, improves fuel economy. Not that we care about that with this car, but it'll of course help the engine run cleaner, better, stronger, and get that full 650 horsepower. So it's super easy. Just add it to a full tank of gas and you're done. Now you just pour it in. This will be a little tricky with it being capless. Hoya! Okay, made a little mess, but we got it. And of course we got the 997 turbo, getting it. Easy as that, takes like 5 seconds. Bam. Available at any auto parts store. Go check them out. Links down below. Well guys, time for a very unexpected portion of this vlog. I was gonna make a whole separate video out of this, but I just figured I'd put it in this part 2 video. But basically, long story short, the previous owner saw the reveal video we posted with the 650S and decided to reach out to me. So I got a message saying, hey, I'm the previous owner of the car. I know all about it. Give me a call if you want to know the true story. And I'm like, oh, heck yeah, I do. So I immediately sent him my phone number. We hop on a call. I just got off the call and let me summarize it for you. I'll keep it short, but basically, yes, what we were thinking was vaguely correct, that the car was in a house fire where the house did indeed catch on fire first, and that filled the garage with smoke and I guess started to crumble the house around it, dropping some debris, some little pieces of wood from the ceiling down onto the car, hence the few scratches. And what he claimed was a very bad smoke smell in the car. I mean, no duh, smoke filled the garage, so it's going to get in the interior and leave like a campfire smell to it, right? Those were the issues with the car right out the gate. So that's the story behind the fire damage. Okay, cool. That's like best case scenario. So he said after the fire, they pulled the cars out of the garage and he said it started up, it kind of ran normally. He said he drove it down the McLaren dealership to obviously start the insurance process of figuring out if it can be fixed or if it's totaled or whatnot. This is where the story gets crazy. So the McLaren dealership or the body shop, whoever had the car, starts going through it for the insurance company, quoting what it's going to take to fix. And just like we've seen countless times before, when an insurance company's involved and they're the ones paying for the work, these shops just go ballistic with the quote. They say it needs this, it needs that, it needs all of this stuff for us to deem it ready to go back to the customer and get it back to like it never even happened condition, right? So I get that, but sometimes they just go so crazy with it, over the top, like I'm about to explain here, because you're probably wondering, how did this car get totaled by insurance? There is no way it was deemed a total loss. Well, here's why. I couldn't believe it when he told me. So that smoke smell, we'll start off with that. So instead of just, you know, maybe doing some sort of a treatment for the smoke or letting it air out, the repair shop decides to quote for all new interior. Why fix it when you can just replace it all? Okay, like what, replace the seats? No, replace everything. The seats, the dash, plastics, and everything that goes into that interior. Like everything. Get this, the quote for the interior alone, the interior swap for new stuff, was $74,000. Nothing is burnt, the plastics aren't melted, the Alcantara doesn't have burn holes in it, nothing. You guys see in the video, it is perfect. And crazier yet, the smoke smell is gone. There is no smoke smell. It smells like a brand new McLaren. So I don't know if it was like an ozone treatment or if it was just sitting outside for 3 years that caused it to like air out and go back to normal. I don't know, but 74,000 bucks for a new interior when, in my opinion, it didn't need a whole new interior is crazy. And that's just the start. Okay, let's continue. So next up on the quote were 4 new wheels. They said, you know what, the smoke damage, you know, we're not sure the integrity of those wheels now. Let's replace them. So that was, I don't know, something stupid, like 14,000 bucks for new wheels and tires, okay? And then this is the real kicker that I think sent it over the edge. They said, once again, well, smoke was, you know, in the vicinity, so we're not sure the integrity of all the wiring in the car and the electronics, so we're gonna have to go ahead and quote a whole new engine wiring harness and all other cables and harnesses in the car. So engine wiring harness, interior harness, like just every wire in the car. He was giving me rough guesses, but I think he said somewhere around another like 60 or 80,000 bucks for all that stuff. I mean, think about it, replacing every like big harness and wire in a car, like that's just a ridiculous amount of labor and cost for all these brand new McLaren parts. And then of course like the body work, so like the quarter panel, the little nick in the quarter panel, oh, you know, brand new quarter panel, all new paint, you know, so whatever, 20,000 bucks or more. It's just like crazy. So the quote obviously quickly exceeded the current value for the car. This is where it gets even weirder. This is nuts. Apparently the guy had a declared value, so like a guaranteed payout if the car were to get totaled. Basically the new price of the car, you know, a little under. When he bought it, it was worth close to 300 grand, $297,000. So he put the declared value as $297,000 from my understanding. So when this car was in talks to get totaled, the insurance company is now factoring in that they will have to pay a total loss claim of $297,000, not the $150,000 that the car is worth. So when the bill to fix the car was like 150 or 170 grand or whatever, the insurance company was actually trying to fix the car instead of paying out the 300 grand, if that makes sense. So I told you it gets crazy, but he literally had to take them to court, and a 2-year-long legal battle ensued with like whether the car would be totaled or not, and whether he should get the full 300 grand instead of the current 150K value, and like all this mess of stuff. And then he was suing for like loss of use, and like you have to put me in a equivalent supercar rental car in the meantime while it's being fixed, like all this stuff. It was a nightmare of a lawsuit. Apparently people flew in from England, from McLaren to talk about the wiring and the safety of the car, like all this weird stuff. It got really crazy. I was not expecting any of that, but apparently he won the lawsuit and he got all sorts of money. He got the full money for the car, plus the legal stuff, plus money that was owed for an equivalent car during that 2-year period. It's nuts. Apparently they had to pay him out a ton of money. So I guess he was happy with it in the end. He could have bought the car back, but he already moved on and got another car, and he was just done with that chapter of his life. So he didn't want the car anymore, but he's like, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good car. I think it'll clean up and, you know, go through the car and just do everything to it, and you should be good to go. And that's obviously what you guys saw this video, taking it in to get a full inspection done by Kyle. Kyle said it's such a clean car. He took off all the underbelly panels to do all the work, of course, and he's like, dude, this is so clean. And he really, really liked the car. He gave it a clean bill of health, and there was nothing else wrong with it. There you guys go. I tried to keep it short. Crazy weird story. What do you guys think about that? Should this car have been totaled, or do you think it was ridiculous that the shop quoted all that money to fix all the stuff on the car? Was there some funny business going on with the shop trying to get a ton of money from the insurance company? I don't think you can argue that, because it's a McLaren. It can go 200 something miles an hour. It needs to be perfect after a claim like this. So I don't blame them for like taking the safe side and like the worst case scenario side of just like, okay, replace everything no matter the cost, even though it didn't need that. So you can go ahead and comment down below your thoughts on it and the car and the rebuild. But there you go, a perfectly good 650S for half the price. We really lucked out, dodged a bullet with how bad it could have been. Again, we deserve to make a profit on this car, a big profit, because we took a big risk. Had this been an actual fire engine damage McLaren, we would have lost our butt on it had it been worst case scenario. So we got lucky once again. JR Garage at it again, but hey, it makes up for some of the recent losses that we've had. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. We have 2 more supercars to reveal and probably like 20 more cheap Porsches. So lots of good content on the way. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.